Happy African History Month. Welcome to Escaping the Echo Chamber. It's February 1st, 2021, and African History Month is upon us again. And some of you may be saying, African History Month? I thought it was Black History Month. Well, for over a decade now, in fact, it's about 15 years now, I've made a conscious effort of calling it African History Month. There's a reason. There are several reasons. One, the scope and the scope and focus of Black History Month I felt was lacking. From starting from slavery and then going to Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream" speech, and then oh, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods. Like that to me was very frivolous and very limited in so many aspects, because if you number one, if you start with, oh, black people's history began with slavery, anything from that comparatively becomes success, and that sets the bar so monumentally low. It is not in our interest to so limit our focus, and to not even discuss and be knowledgeable about our history. So that is why, one, I'm not starting with history. So 1619 is not the beginning of the history, although we will be discussing the 1619 project. Sports is not the culmination of our rise to success, although athletes and other popular figures will be discussed this month, especially if you take into consideration just some of the things that have happened in the past year. That's really going to be something that I think needs to be discussed. That's definitely something that needs to be discussed. But we're going to go, and we're not just going to focus on the shores of North America. Like, just no, like African history, Black history extends beyond the time constraints that have traditionally been put on it, and outside of the geographic constraints that are traditionally put on it. Some individuals may not like it. You've got, the ADOS and FBA movement, but I'm like, if you take a look at the Pan African movement, all things that need to be discussed, like there are there are so many aims to limit the focus, the scope, of our history, of our kinship, and what must be built going forward. And so that's why this is such an exciting time for me. I mean, February, I really enjoy having the opportunity to do this. And even though this has grown out of something different, and in fact, I will talk about the how this even started. But this opportunity to be able to discuss African history, Black history, and things that have come before us, things that are happening now, and things that can be built going forward is it's so it, it I so clearly I can't find words to express it. uh, but it's this is a very, I enjoy this. And so, to those individuals that will make ridiculous statements, like, oh, well, why do we have a Black History Month? Uh, I did that in somebody's voice, but for a particular reason, because somewhere right now, I know she is making that ridiculous statement. I could have done a different voice of, why do we have a Black History Month? We don't have a, which there are White History Months, but we're not going to talk about that. Um, Not right now. So the reason why there is a Black History Month, the reason why there is African History Month, the reason why I do this is because there have been so many, there are negatives that have happened to the African communities across the globe. And I think it's important for us to remember that, because there's some who will make statements like, "Oh, get over it," and like, for instance, this weekend I saw a meme of somebody saying the people that are telling black people to get over slavery are mad. They're running around with Confederate flags and are mad that they don't they lost their slaves. like wow, yeah, because forgetting history is not a smart thing. It's not a wise thing to do. Being aware of your history, being aware of what has come before, where things have gone wrong, where things have gone right, is essential to building a strong community and having a prosperous future. And so just being able to discuss Black history in the lens of what does it mean for us today? What can we do with it today? What can we move forward in? How far have we come? How far haven't we come? Like, these are things, and like I said, the reason why I want to go back further than just, oh, it starts in slavery, is because the bar needs to be higher. I mean, if we're starting with slavery, then when I forget what's the character's name, the in the commercial, McDonald's commercial, that's success. Wow, he's actually getting paid to labor toil for somebody else's riches. It's that's success comparatively. But if we're looking further back, if we're taking a clear picture, then we'll be able to say, okay, wait a minute. We can and we should be doing better. We need to do better. And just in the context of what's happened last year, 2020 was, wow, a hell of a year. And seeing all over the globe this movements that were centered around just like the injustices facing black people all over, it's a wake-up call. It is an absolute wake-up call that means we have to move, we have to act. The time for symbolism is long past dead. The time for just platitudes and patting ourselves on the back, oh yes, look how far we've come, that's over and done with. There needs to be action. We need to do something. We need to progress. We need to move past this. We need to, and when I say move past it, I mean not meant. We need to actually move past a level, situations that have left us in such dangerous conditions. So that's what I look forward to discussing throughout the month. And I'm glad you're here joining me. I hope you will tune in throughout the remainder of the month so that we can really just talk about, and I want to hear from people, because one of the things when we were having our African history gatherings were one of the sayings, each one teach one. Because it's crucial to remember that I'm born and raised in America, so I went to a public school. The history I was taught is so substandard and flawed, and some of it's just outright lies and nonsense. So being able to learn more about accurate history, extended history, is just something I think is so beneficial for us all. So thank you for checking out the channel. Thank you for checking out the episode. Stay tuned. I will have more for you tomorrow. And don't forget, like, share, subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow.